top 7 Disney worlds I want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4. Coming in at number 7, we have Star Wars. Now, I know this is a pretty controversial pick, which is why I'm starting off the video with it, hopefully to get your attention. Like other people have already said, I think Star Wars fits perfectly into Kingdom Hearts, probably more than any other Disney world ever. I mean, Kingdom Hearts has drawn so much inspiration from it, particularly with BBS, with Terra basically being Anakin Skywalker. So I think they can take themes that we've already established within Kingdom Hearts, like the battle between light and darkness. Is darkness really bad and light really good? And if Disney lets them, I think it'd be really interesting for someone like Terra or Riku to help the characters out internally. During the scene where Luke tells Leia his plans to try to reason with Vader, when he says that he senses good in him and says he can turn him back to the good side, that's exactly what Terra and Riku have gone through, so they could encourage Luke. Both Ansem and Maleficent manipulated Riku, and Terra was manipulated by Xehanort and Maleficent, so they've gone through exactly what Vader's going through, but have managed to conquer the darkness and manipulation in the end. Even if it's just Sora going to the world, Master Xehanort has elements of both Palpatine and Vader. Xehanort's ending perfectly mirrors this scene here, and it's even funnier that Ericus is voiced by Mark Hamill.
It is too late for me, son.
It is too late. For us, perhaps, but not for them.
So, later on in the movie, Kingdom Hearts characters could help out Luke in trying to convince Darth Vader that the dark side is just a perspective. It doesn't define who they are, but what they choose to do with that power. There can't be light without darkness. Although Riku has conquered the darkness, I think he should try reasoning with other characters on the wrong side and try to bring some perspective to them. Xehanort was blinded by darkness for most of his life, thinking everything he was doing was right, thinking he was the child of destiny. Anakin was also supposed to be the chosen one, the one prophesied to bring balance to the Force. If you've watched my Sigurd theory video, or you're from the future and I release my next theory video, you know the interesting parallels I found between Sigurd, Xehanort, and Riku. With family being an important aspect of episode 6, I think there's a chance Sigurd could appear in this world too. Now, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. I've only watched Star Wars for the first time 3 years ago, specifically because of the ATST foot in the first Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. It's pretty obvious to me that they'd probably do episode 6 for Kingdom Hearts 4 because of that ATST foot. And this may be a hot take, but personally, I didn't really enjoy the original trilogy much. Maybe it's because I watched it too late into my movie watching journey, but I think episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie. Maybe it's because I really enjoyed the BBS parallels, vice versa. And for this video, I wasn't even expecting to have a lot to talk about. I just skimmed through the movies and kept finding parallel after parallel. Just take a look at these scenes of young Anakin and Xehanort.
Your thoughts dwell on your mother.
I miss her.
Anyways, since darkness is so shunned upon in Star Wars, kind of like how it is for most of the Kingdom Hearts series, particularly Dark Road, I think they can continue developing the concept of darkness and what it means in Kingdom Hearts and how it may differ in different Disney worlds. Dark Road pretty explicitly shows the Queen of Hearts being engulfed by darkness, so is Darth Vader blinded by darkness too? A lightsaber-esque Keyblade kind of seems like a no-brainer. I feel like they have a chance of changing things up for KH4 and maybe we'd get a new Keyblade right when landing in a new world instead of after we complete the world. Maybe that Keyblade could have special powers that only work in that specific world, or it has powers that level up as we progress in that world. I've theorized in one of my posts that this icon in the command menu could be similar to an icon ability from Final Fantasy XVI. Where we'd be able to unlock abilities depending on the Keyblade we use. Alright, well that's Star Wars, and I feel like I need to preface the rest of the video by saying that my choices aren't only worlds that I want to see, but worlds that I think have a real chance of appearing and are thematically appropriate to the current point of Kingdom Hearts. Well, except for one of the picks, but I'll get to that one later. And when I say thematically appropriate, I imply movies that have elements of death. Since we see Donald and Goofy seemingly looking for Sora in the underworld, and we saw the dead upperclassmen in the underworld in Dark Road, death seems to be being set up as a major theme going forward. Although I will note that if Donald and Goofy are looking for Sora in the underworld, that kind of implies that this scene takes place before Melody of Memory. Since the last time we see them in Melmem, they already know that Sora is in Quadratum, so why would they be looking for Sora there in Kingdom Hearts 4? So I can't help but theorize that maybe we'll get some flashbacks of what was happening between Sora defeating Xehanort and when he disappears. Kingdom Hearts 3's ending shows us a bunch of things happening which I don't think really got the chance to be greatly explored, like Riku picking up Naminé. Where is he taking her? Destiny Islands? How does Naminé feel now that she can live on her own terms? Anyways, I'm getting a little off topic, but I'm really interested in seeing how everything plays out because there's so many opportunities for Kingdom Hearts 4's prologue. Is it going to be just Sora in Quadratum, mirroring Roxas's prologue in Kingdom Hearts 2? Or are we going to see Kairi training with Aqua and get playable Kairi as a tutorial? Is this explorable Scala section with Mickey going to be how the game starts? There's just so many unknowns for the next Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer to hopefully answer. Anyways, going back to the theme of death, what better Disney or Pixar movie to choose than Coco? Coco has Miguel exploring the land of the dead. Maybe Sora's attempting to cross over to the realm of light, but he can only go to worlds that send him to an afterlife of that world. For the Keyblade for this world, I found this really cool art on DeviantArt, so shout out to this guy on screen. I think this design would fit kind of perfectly for the Keyblade. And on top of that, I was rewatching some scenes for the movie for this, and I found this parallel of Hector and Ernesto that I think fits pretty well.
I'm going home, Ernesto. Hate me if you want, but my mind is made up.
No. I know what to do, but this time I have to go it alone.
Let him go, Mickey. His heart and his mind are made up.
On top of that, Coco has creatures resembling Dream Eaters.
Alebrijes! But those are...
Real alebrijes. Spirit creatures.
They guide souls on their journey.
The ending of Union Cross revealed that when Keyblade wielders during this period went to sleep, or essentially died, their Cherethies would become their protectors, turning into Dream Eaters. What's even crazier is that legend has it that the first Alebrije was born from the dreams of an artist. As far as the actual plot, I think mostly following the events of the Disney World is perfectly fine, but what they could add is Sora reflecting on his previous life and wondering if everyone he's ever met will eventually forget him and he'll wither away. Keep in mind that everyone did forget about Sora before, during his year-long sleep between Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2. Encanto features a tight story about families. Mirabel is the only one in her family not to receive a special gift, and she's prophesied to destroy the family's magical house. I've heard great things about this movie, but I never ended up watching it until recently just for this video. I love pieces of media that explore themes of fate and destiny, and I was very surprised that I had no idea that this movie loosely explores that concept too. I'm curious to see if KH4 is going to have singing in any of its worlds, like the Let It Go portion in KH3, and if it does, it'll be interesting to see Sora's reaction of Luisa mentioning Hercules and Cerberus during this scene.
Was Hercules ever like, yo, I don't wanna fight Cerberus under the surface?
At first, Mirabel's family members kind of felt like two-dimensional stereotypes to me. There's the perfect one, the strong one, and the one who can see the future. But each of these characters feel a burden that they have to be no less than perfect. When Luisa feels her power weaken, she starts feeling useless, like she's nothing without her power of being strong. Whenever all of them start losing their power, they all feel useless, but even with their powers, in the eyes of their grandma, they will never be strong enough. They will never satisfy her needs, no matter how hard they try. I think this is a feeling that Sora's been feeling throughout the series too, but especially in Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora always tries to hide his pain and put on a happy face, as he's been told to since Kingdom Hearts 1. But you know, all of this pain culminated at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 when Sora loses his most precious power, his friends. I think the parallels of perfectionism and shouldering pain and hurt fits perfectly with Sora's character. Bruno's visions of the future fit perfectly in line with how the Book of Prophecies works. The Book of Prophecies doesn't predict destiny, so to say, but whatever important events the eye shows the Master of Masters, he jots down, and that's why it's in the book. It's possible to change destiny, as we see Sora doing in Kingdom Hearts 3. Considering Encanto features a close story about family, and there hasn't been a focus on the family of original Kingdom Hearts characters, I think this could be a perfect opportunity for Sora to reveal some lore about his own family. Especially considering Missing Link was supposed to give us huge insights into bloodlines. I'm sure Kingdom Hearts 4 was being set up to at least have a slight focus about family, compared to the rest of the games. Mirabel learns that allegedly to save their house she needs to embrace her perfect sister Isabel. But instead of naturally going about it, she tries to artificially create the moment based on Bruno's prediction. But this isn't how destiny's meant to happen, just like how #ad in my last theory video, the player character brought Xehanort to Destiny Islands to try to artificially save him from darkness and make him the child of destiny. This is also very similar to something that happens in Shrek Forever After. The only way to break the contract he signed is a kiss of true love. Shrek, thinking Fiona's the key just because she's the key in his original timeline, begs her to kiss him. But when she eventually does, he realizes that the spell doesn't break. This Fiona doesn't love him, making destiny out of his control. How did I make this connection? Well, I just wanted to include Shrek in the video because I've always wanted to play a Shrek video game. There have been Shrek games that I've released, but I've never owned one as a kid, and Shrek was always my favorite animated movie. In particular, I always really loved the fourth one, which I loosely remember seeing at a movie theater in 2010. But if it were to get a world in Kingdom Hearts, I'd probably choose them to adapt the second movie. Imagine a AAA Shrek world featuring an open world version of Far Far Away, having an entire kingdom as a world to explore, alongside Shrek's swamp and a ton of other iconic locations to fight Heartless in. Now, as far as logistics go, Shrek isn't Disney, and a large portion of Shrek is about shitting on Disney fairy tales. But I wanted to include this here anyway. We did get Shrek's swamp in Square Enix's Power Wash Simulator, so maybe DreamWorks and Disney could make a deal, who knows. The next up is something I haven't seen anyone talking about. Everyone knows that Disney bought Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, but no one talks about Disney buying 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox owns the animation studio Blue Sky, not to be confused with this Blue Sky. Blue Sky, alongside 20th Century Fox, created movies like Ice Age, Rio, Epic, The Peanut Movie, and The Book of Life. Although the studio shut down in April 2021, their IPs are now owned by Disney, with Ice Age 6 being announced at D23 last year. So what perfect way to capitalize on their new IP acquisitions than choosing one of them and putting them into Kingdom Hearts? For this spot, I'm not going to single out any particular movie, but I'd love to see either a Rio or an Ice Age movie getting selected. For me, one of the most important factors for deciding what Disney worlds I like in Kingdom Hearts is its level design. So obviously, Kingdom Hearts 1, Dream Drop Distance, and 3 absolutely shine for me. So when thinking about interesting level design, imagine Sora turning into a bird and being able to freely fly around Rio de Janeiro. Next up, we have a world that I'm sure a lot of people have on their list too. Moana obviously has a lot of parallels to Kingdom Hearts characters, most closely to Xehanort and Riku desperately wanting to leave their island. And as far as what we're actually going to be doing in this world, Moana ventures off her island on a raft, which is exactly what Sora, Riku, and Kairi wanted to do in Kingdom Hearts 1. We did already get to travel on that raft in DDD, as well as in the opening portion of Pirates of the Caribbean, but there can never be enough nostalgia baiting callbacks to Kingdom Hearts 1, let's be real. Moana has her grandma who shows herself to Moana as a vision, giving her motivation. If someone like Kairi were to visit this world, imagine that she gets a vision of Sora and gets to talk to him. We already see Sora astral project to help Kairi in Melody of Memory, which was setting up astral projection for Missing Link. I've seen a lot of theories about this phone in the new Kingdom Hearts 4 screenshots, so maybe this time he can use that phone so his voice can travel there too. We're really going insane, aren't we? Let's take a step back and propose a different scenario. What if Kairi doesn't talk to Sora here, but her grandma? The possibilities are insane. As for the Keyblade, the same artist also did a Keyblade design for Moana. The only thing I'd change is the top portion to make it resemble either a Wayfinder necklace or Kairi's lucky charm. I think it'd be pretty funny to reveal that the original concept for those was something created on Moana's home island, deepening the lore further. Hopefully this could one day be paid off with an actual explanation in something like Kingdom Hearts Relink, which you can sign the petition for in the description. Wink wink. But on top of that, the concept of a Wayfinder is actually present within Moana's world. Moana becomes a Wayfinder. I made a YouTube short comparing all the similarities between Xehanort and Moana, but there's still so much more that I haven't covered and I haven't seen anyone else mention on YouTube. Moana's grandma tells Moana that the darkness is spreading on their island, but that someday someone's going to save their island. The ocean chose Moana. This is oddly similar to the concept of the Child of Destiny, at least on the surface. As a bonus world, I'm going to include the recently announced Pixar movie Gato. During France's Annecy Animation Festival, they revealed some animation tests that featured a uniquely hand-painted look that blends 2D hand-painted textures with CG animation. Since Kingdom Hearts 3 experimented with different art styles for each world, Kingdom Hearts 4 will definitely do so as well. Imagine playing in a world that has a 2D painted art style. And as for the story, the synopsis says that it follows a black cat named Nero in a society. Society? Missing Link mentioned? In a society that sees black cats as bad luck. Nero is finding his way in Venice and gets involved in the seedier aspects of cat society, and ends up indebted to a mafia boss-style cat named Rocco. Nomura is known to love cats, with him even featuring one of his cats in the cover art for KH3, so I definitely think that this world has a good chance of being in Kingdom Hearts. But considering the movie's set to release in 2027, I doubt it'd have the chance to be featured for KH4, so I'm looking at you, KH5. I might be too optimistic thinking that basically all the worlds will have full-blown explorable cities. I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3 only has one modern city, and for Kingdom Hearts 4, I'm sure they want to make Quadratum be the main big explorable city, but they can still have smaller cities, more akin to something like the Kingdom of Corona and Port Royal. Having so many cities in KH3 is probably why they decided against making Arendelle explorable in KH3. It isn't important for the main plot and would only be cool gameplay wise. But nonetheless, the last world I choose is Zootopia. What's interesting about this world is that if Sora goes there with Donald and Goofy won't need to have a special design, considering they're already anthropomorphic animals. I would love for the city of Zootopia to be explorable and for Sora to be able to ride the train to get around places, although I think that's pretty unrealistic due to the aforementioned reasons, and that the original plot mostly doesn't take place directly on the city streets. Out of any world on this list, I kinda hope Zootopia has either a completely original story, or takes the plot of the second Zootopia movie, coming out later this year. The first teaser trailer for Zootopia 2 has a character in a brown robe that looks a lot like Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, if you don't look too closely. So it'd be interesting if they do something with that, and according to the plot synopsis, the story is going to revolve around a stolen book. We don't know what happens to the original Book of Prophecies. The foretellers each got a copy of the BOP, and Ephemer is also left with just a copy, leading to the events of Missing Link. I think most people agree that Dark Road had the best Disney World integration since something like 358 over 2 days and Kingdom Hearts 1. So my hope is that KH4 will follow the trend and have whatever happens be directly connected to the main story. I have some theories about where the original Book of Prophecies might be and the power it may have, but I think I'll save that for another video. But my point is that if they choose to adapt Zootopia 2, having the book be the Book of Prophecies and having the story revolve around that would be beyond interesting. Well, I guess that's about it for today's video. Let me know down below if you'd like me to do more videos like these alongside the theory videos. I could do tier lists and, the whole typical Kingdom Hearts creator thing, except the videos will be highly edited and take me a super long time to make, because I would consider myself a little bit of a perfectionist, even if it's just for a simple world wishlist video. I also plan on making some reaction videos for future Kingdom Hearts trailers. I've been recording reactions for like gaming events for the past 5 years now, hoping for something. Wait, oh my god, I had a heart attack. I heard Kingdom.
Oh, wait.
What's this? Wait! No, stop. Oh, it's just remake. Bro, the fucking jump scare. I'm actually so done with Square Enix. I'm actually done with Square Enix. It's over.
Alright, well next it's time to see the announcement of a
Hold
brand new
up.
game in Deception.
Kingdom Hearts 3.5 remix. Yozora, Sora, Yozora, Link, Relink. Oh, hold up. Let them cook. Let them cook.
That was Killer in a 24-player multiplayer game from Square Enix where you can
Where Enix? Wait, what? Where Enix? No. Kingdom Hearts 4, Verum Rex, Sora, Yozora, Link, Missing Link, Relink. Come on. Come on.
No stranger to delivering
on.
blockbuster games.
Hold on. Hold on.
When I first got a glimpse at this project last
Hold
summer,
on. Am I recording this? Hold on. Hold on. Jeff, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Many places, really any
Don't do
place
this to me.
could have been revealed. We are
Don't
so
do this to
deeply
me.
honored
Wait, you're
that we get to
revealed.
share
So
it
it's
with
not.
the
Wait.
world right
Oh, wait. So over. So who knows? All I know is that one day tomorrow will come.